The metabolic pathway of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins occur simultaneously. The network of reaction in the metabolism is coordinated. These reaction occurs in various metabolic pathway and don't occur in isolation. So they are well coordinated manner based on the overall requirement of the body. All the major metabolic pathways don't operate in every tissues at any given time. The cells and the organs are cooperated for the common pathway for the body. These three pathways are interlinked. Here you can see the interrelation between the metabolic pathway of proteins, carbohydrate and the fat. Okay. These are the main dietary source: proteins, carbohydrates and the fats. And the simplest form of these are amino acids, glucose and the fatty acids. These metabolites share the same pathway like TC cycle, electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation for the energy production. Now what happens in the body in a day? There are two cycles: well-fed cycle and the starvation cycle. A normal healthy person stored fuel in the form of glycogen and the fat. So basically the calories are stored in the body as a form of glycogen and the fat. 85% of the fat reserved into the body and 1% of the glycogen and 14% of the proteins are stored in the body. In the liver, glycogen is stored almost 70 gram, that produces 280 kilocalories. In the muscles, it is 120 gram, that produces 480 kilocalories energy. The highest percent of the fat in the adipose tissue, that is 50,000. 1 gram of fat produces 9 kilocalorie and 1 gram of protein that produces 4 kilocalories. These reserve or stored fuel are degraded during fasting condition, starvation conditions and when you working extra other activities. In the body, main organs are dependent only and only for the only and only on the glucose for the energy. These organs are brain, red blood cells, retina, renal medulla and testes. A constant supply of glucose is essential for these organs: brain, red blood cells, retina, renal medulla or testes. Apart from these organs, the another organs that are also dependent on the glucose, it is a primary fuel of these organs: brain, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, liver and adipose tissue. Another fuels are fatty acids and ketone bodies. For the brain, mainly required glucose. So for this glucose, mainly these three reactions occur in the body. First one is conversion of carbohydrate into the fats. Glucose is converted into the pyruvate by the glycolysis cycle, and after that it is converted into the acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A is the precursor of fatty acid synthesis. Next reaction is glucose is converted into the glycerol, and these glycerol react with the fatty acid, form the triacyl glycerol. So these are the reactions, the conversion of carbohydrate into the fats. Next reactions are conversion of fat into the carbohydrate. Propionyl coenzyme A is converted into succinyl coenzyme A, and succinyl coenzyme A form the glucose by the gluconeogenesis process. Glycerol also fat, it is the precursor of the glucose. So these are the two main reactions that are involved in the conversion of fats into the carbohydrate. Another reaction is conversion of carbohydrate into the proteins. So and the protein into the carbohydrate. You very well know there are some glucogenic amino acids that are the precursor of the glucose by the gluconeogenesis process. Another reaction is conversion of protein into fats. So there are some ketogenic amino acids that form the fats. Now the conversion of amino acid, the conversion of fatty acid into the amino acid, the reaction is very less. Here you can see the complete interchangeable of these carbohydrate into the protein, protein into the carbohydrate, carbohydrate is converted into the lipids. All these three compounds share the same cycle, that is citric acid cycle or TCA cycle, oxidative phosphorylation and electron transport chain. Different tissues and organs are meet metabolic demands for the whole body. There are some major organs that involve in the metabolic process. These are liver, skeletal muscles, adipose tissue, brain and heart. So one by one we will discuss all these organs and their roles. The main role of the liver to maintain the blood glucose level. It plays a central role in the metabolism. All pathways operate in the liver except some reactions like ketolysis, in a well-fed condition. Liver take up excess glucose and stored in the form of glycogen, or it convert into the fatty acid. Means in the liver mainly two reactions take place: glycogen synthesis and fatty acid synthesis. During fasting condition, liver provide glucose by the two main processes. First one is glycogenolysis and second one is gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis means formation of sugar moiety from the non-sugar moiety. The liver synthesizes ketone bodies during starvation and it provides into the peripheral tissues. Skeletal muscles they maintain large stores of glycogen which provide energy during fasting condition or during exertion. Uptake of glucose and storage of glucose influenced by the insulin. Generally, resting muscles use fatty acid as a fuel, and after that glucose during exercise. The stored glycogen is converted into the glucose and this glucose is converted into lactate. So this lactate is transported into the liver by the cycle is Cori cycle, and this lactate is formed glucose by the gluconeogenesis process. During starvation, free fatty acids and ketone bodies supply by liver and oxidized in the preference of glucose in the muscles. During starvation, extra glucose utilized by the brain, then free fatty acid come from adipose tissue and the muscles. Protein also present in the muscle. They can be used as a fuel. During prolonged starvation, muscle proteins are broken down into the amino acids. These amino acids transfer into the liver and form glucose. Pyruvate is converted either lactate or alanine, that is transported into the liver, and where it is produce glucose. Now adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is the storehouse of the energy in the form of triacyl glycerol. For the triacyl glycerol formation and storage, fatty acid synthesis and glycolysis should be operate simultaneously. During well-fed state, the adipose tissue synthesized triacyl glycerol and stored it, and during the fasting condition, triacyl glycerol are converted into the glycerol and fatty acid, which are exported into the liver and the other tissues. Heart muscle must be continuously supplied with the energy from liver and the adipose tissue. It consumes more energy compared of the other organ. It derives its energy by 60 to 90% of the fatty acid, 10 to 40% of the glucose and ketone bodies. In the heart muscle, creatine phosphate is also important for the energy storage. Brain tissue normally used glucose. During starvation condition, it use ketone bodies as an energy source. There is no fuel stored in the brain. Glucose can freely enter into the brain cells. Total 60% of the carbohydrate intake by the brain. There are some metabolic changes in well-fed state. When you take a proper diet, highly rich of carbohydrate, proteins and lipids. First, they are digested into their simplest form like glucose or monosaccharides, amino acids and fatty acids. The fatty acid is transported the fatty acid is transported by the lymphatic system into the chylomicron, and chylomicrons are transported directly triacylglycerol into the liver and muscles. In the liver, this triacylglycerol is transported by the VLDL in the adipose tissue, and in the adipose tissue this triacylglycerol is stored as a fat or fat droplets. Glucose and amino acids are transported from intestine to the liver by the blood circulation, as well as in the brain and in the adipose tissue. Amino acids generally used in the synthesis of protein, and glucose is stored as a form of glycogen. Some glucose are used for the formation of ATP. These all reactions happen in the influence of insulin. So these are the metabolic changes during well-fed state in the specific organs. In the well-fed state, the main role of the hormone, that is insulin. It increases the uptake of glucose into the liver, increase uptake of glucose into the muscle and adipose tissue. It increase the process of glycogen synthesis. It increase the process of fatty acid synthesis. It decrease the process of glycogen breakdown. So these are the effects of insulin on the glucose. Metabolic changes during fasting condition. First, the glucose level is fall down and insulin level is also decline. Glucagon and epinephrine, these two hormones are high in the blood. Metabolic changes in the carbohydrate, and in the carbohydrate metabolism, the main role of the organ, that is liver. The main sources of blood glucose during starvation or during fasting condition is liver glycogen. Liver glycogen break down and form the glucose that maintain the blood glucose level. Second process is gluconeogenesis. It play an essential role to maintain the blood glucose level during fasting and the starvation condition. Metabolic changes in protein metabolism during fasting condition and in the protein metabolism, the main role of the muscles, skeletal muscle as well as cardiac muscles. Increase the proteolytic activity occurs due to decreased concentration of the insulin. The major glucogenic amino acids are alanine and glutamine. During fasting condition, there is rapid breakdown of the muscle protein that provide amino acids. They are used by the liver for the synthesis of glucose. Metabolic changes in fat metabolism and role of adipose tissue. Free fatty acid generally formed by the degradation of triacyl glycerol. These free fatty acids can be used by some tissues and these fatty acids converted into the acetyl coenzyme A, and this acetyl coenzyme A is the precursor of gluconeogenesis process. The glycerol is derived from the cleavage of triacyl glycerol. It is also a source of, it is also a precursor of gluconeogenesis process to the formation of glucose into the liver. This is the complete metabolic changes during fasting condition. In the blood, glucose level and insulin level is decreased and glucagon as well as epinephrine hormones are increased. So in the liver, the glycogen that is stored in the liver is degraded and form the glucose. These glucose provide into the brain. In the adipose tissue, stored triacyl glycerol is degraded into the glycerol and free fatty acid. This glycerol is formed of the glucose and the fatty acid. They are again degraded and form the acetyl coenzyme A and produce ATP by the TCA cycle. In the muscles, proteins are stored. These proteins are catalyzed in the form of amino acids. These amino acids are involved to the formation of glucose by the gluconeogenesis process. So this is the complete metabolic changes during fasting condition. In the fasting condition, liver glycogen is fall down, blood glucose level is also decreased, plasma insulin is also low in range, and plasma glucagon is high in range in the blood. In the fasting condition, the main role or the main effect of the glucagon into the body. Glucagon increase the process glycogen breakdown, lipolysis, protein degradation, and it decrease the process glucagon synthesis, glycolysis, what is the effect of fasting condition or starvation condition on BMR? The ratio of glucagon to insulin concentration increased, thyroxine production is reduced, that leads to decrease BMR, body temperature, pulse rate and blood pressure. In the prolonged starvation condition, all these leads to the death of the body. During starvation condition, the metabolic processes, first one is glycogenolysis, second one is gluconeogenesis, third one is lipolysis, fourth one is acidosis, fifth one is death. The major fuels in different organs during fasting and starvation condition. These are the key enzymes under well-fed condition, fasting condition and starvation condition. So this is all about the metabolic changes during fasting and well-fed condition in the specific organs. Thank you. हाँ मैंने टेस्ट कर नहीं मैम मैंने आज तक कभी खाया नहीं है। हाँ 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 मैम वेजिटेरियन नहीं खाता मेरे मैम मैं लंच के लिए आने वाली हूँ, क्लास अभी भी खत्म हुआ है। जी जी।